This is a conversation between Ram Dass and Terence Mckenna, two of the most well-known figures within the spiritual psychedelic community. After this short clip, we're going to come back and review a bit about what they discussed to determine what it is that we can actually learn from this fascinating conversation that they had together.
Well, you know, Blake said a wonderful thing. He said, if I can get it right, if the truth can be told so as to be understood, it will be believed.
Right, exactly.
So all you have to do is say it.
Exactly. When can you say it simply enough? Is it only said in silence simply enough? Or are there words? Or is there music? Or is there what? Or is there...
There's words, there's music, there's silence, there's gesture, because it's always going to exceed one's grasp.
See, my mantra is the Gandhi line, my life is my message.
Yes, you said that the other night. That's very good.
Of every level of being.
I think I'm at a little lower level because I'm very aware that I have to struggle to have to say my life is my message. I would almost rather say my message is my message. Please don't look at my life because I'm a fallible human being and I'm constantly fucking up.
But you see how that weakens your message. You see how that quality means that the message doesn't come from the root, the central. There's a way in which it waffles.
True.
And that's the thing. I really can't. Once I saw the possibility of that, I said, why waffle? What is worth holding on to that's worth waffling about?
What they're talking about from a 10,000-foot perspective are the different perspectives they have of their own self-image. Terence Mckenna is somebody who has largely made a career out of taking psychedelics and giving lectures based upon his experiences. Whereas Ram Dass is somebody, while he has taken psychedelics, has largely used that as an opportunity to see the projects that he has available to him to work with, namely himself. That's why he says his life is his message. He's willing to work on himself, whereas while Terence Mckenna mentioning that he would prefer that you listen to his message but not so deeply investigate as to who he is as a person, comes from the place of not necessarily working on himself, more so just diving into the psychedelic experience, exploring that, and seeing what information he can gain from those experiences. There was definitely a time that I would say I identified more so with where Terence is coming from, especially whenever I just got into psychedelics. It allowed me to view myself and the world around me in an entirely new way. Basically every single time that I took psychedelics, there was a lot of novelty. And so it was always very interesting to have these experiences, whether they were good or bad, whether I was ready for the information or not. And what I'll also say is that once I began learning the holistic wellness practices like meditation that enabled me to have very similar experiences to psychedelics without having to consume the substances, I began to identify more so with where Ram Dass was coming from. I began to see my own life as a project, and I could tell that if I wanted to truly help people, then I needed to set the example for them to see in order for them to follow, and not just merely talk the talk. I truly needed to walk the walk, so to speak. And I'm also really interested to hear where you are personally at in this process. Are you currently right now identifying more so with where Terence is coming from the sense that it's okay to give advice without wanting to personally be investigated into? Or are you coming from the place of where Ram Dass is, where he wants the truth of what he is saying to be clearly self-evident? I didn't make this video to discuss which one of these individuals is more enlightened or which is the one that we should listen to more so. It's merely to point out the differences between someone who perhaps takes psychedelics versus someone who lives a psychedelic life. So the question to you would be, which one of those outcomes do you want? Subscribe to this channel if you thought this video brought up an interesting topic of discussion and if you would like to see more videos like this one. And until the next one, I'll see you later.